Hello, everybody! We're live!
Yay!
Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jason Bowman, and welcome to APA's new show, Billiards Tonight, where we're going to spend some time hanging out with various personalities from across the pool world, talking a little shop, if you will, and giving our viewers an opportunity to interact with our guests through our live chat at the end of the evening. So tonight, I'm joined by my trusty sidekick there, Mr. Steve Alejandro. Say what's up, Steve.
What up, everybody?
And, of course, our guest tonight, the one and only Black Widow, Jeanette Lee. Jeanette, thanks for joining us.
Hello,
I think I speak
here.
for pool players everywhere when I say it is so good to see you. Right?
Yes.
You gave us a little scare a couple weeks ago, and I don't know if folks know the whole story, but about 3-4 weeks ago, really as the world was falling apart around us, shutting down, if you will, because of the COVID. You were having some real health struggles, and so if you could maybe just talk a little bit about what you were going through with your health.
Sure. So try to make it as brief as I can. I've had a whole history of problems with my spine, my neck, my joints, and ankylosing spondylitis, fibromyalgia, deteriorated disc, fused, spine, things like that. And I had this surgery for a spinal cord stimulator. And my surgeon's thought was that I could actually start really competing. Now I can still play pool, I can still break balls and have some fun, but in terms of really getting up there and being at that top,
elite level,
I had to be able to play a lot more than an hour here, an hour there. And my pain with all my things had gotten to the point where I just couldn't put that time in.
Yeah.
With the spinal cord stimulator, it's something that it literally made the pain vanish, which was great. But my body, after the surgery, they put it in, it was a trial. They put that in for about 10 days and it was like heaven. It took away so much pain. And then they put the real one in, but then for some reason, even though I was feeling good, the sutures, it just wasn't healing. And eventually it just kept getting worse and worse and turned into a staph infection, turned into hospitalization. And what I thought was going to be one day going in, flushing, coming out, turned into 7 days. And now I've got, they released me at home. They actually, because of COVID and everything and not knowing what was going on at home, they didn't even want me to go home. They wanted to send me to a nursing home, to a nursing facility.
That's different.
For 28 days. And I fought that because I hadn't seen my kids. Being in that hospital and not being able to have visitors, not just really, it was just really scary.
I want to say, because again, let's kind of set the stage for when you're going to the hospital. Again, this COVID-19 thing is just totally coming down on us.
Right.
The sports leagues had all canceled their seasons. They're telling us to start staying inside and not going to work. And here you are going to the place that is high risk,
right?
Where
all the sick people are going. Know.
So I mean, I'm sure. Number one, you were scared to death, not only for your own health, but just where you were going. But what was it like? I mean, was the hospital different? Did they have different I've been by the hospital here the last few weeks, and they have a whole tent outside. You have to go through first, and stuff. It's very interesting. So was that in place yet, or was it just like normal hospital?
Yes. So when we came in, Gene couldn't even go in with me. He had to pretty much just barely inside the lobby. But
and that's Gene Allen, Jeanette's fiance, right? Gene is who we're talking about.
Yes. And Gene was, I think it killed him as much as it killed me that he could not be there to support me. And again, when we were going in, we were thinking that I have this infection. They're going to go surgically clean it out. I was thinking I could even do some antibiotics, but I guess I think when you have a lifetime of pain, it's very easy to brush off things that a healthy person would have these same symptoms and go, heck no, I'm going to the hospital or I'm going to get some, and I think I just kept pushing it. Well, it's the same. Yeah, I'm just feeling a little worse than usual. And I had let it get so bad that by the time they went into the hospital and realized how bad it was, I was projectile vomiting. I was in so much pain. And I was alone, and I wasn't prepared. I had just the same shirt and T-shirt and
Right.
jeans
Yeah.
and
You just went in for
overnight bag and so, I mean, just stupid things like good coffee or, a book to read or anything, which none of that mattered in the end because I was so miserable that I was just kind of crawled up in my bed. But
Right.
Yeah.
I would like to say something special that happened.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I just want to ask you too, because so at this point, Gene, again, we mentioned Gene Allen is Jeanette's fiance, pool player, great guy. He kind of puts out like the bat signal, if you will, to like the pool world, like, hey, just so everybody knows, like
This is what's up.
Jeanette has had some health issues, and and normally I don't, we probably wouldn't mention your health issues unless you brought it up,
And I normally don't.
So yeah, I know. Like we went on the APA Facebook page. I saw professional players sharing his message across the internet. So what happens at that point after the world knows that you've gone into the hospital in the midst of the world shutting down around us?
Right. I think for me, I mean, even the doctors and the nurses and everybody coming into my room to care for me in masks and gloves. And I mean, I was holed up in this world. And for me, everything was about my kids. Are they being safe? And what's going on outside and my business. And I was so thinking about this. And then suddenly, bing, ding, ding, ding. And I'm going, what's going on? It's 1:00 in the morning. I look, and there were, I mean, I would like to say hundreds, but it was thousands.
Oh, man.
I mean, there were so many messages, text messages, emails to every email I've ever had, to all my different social media pages, my private phone, our business phone, of people saying, I heard, God bless you, and stories of people that shared the impact and the inspiration I had on their lives. And it made me very emotional. It really did, because I'm a person that I've talked about my obstacles and the things I've overcome, but I do that after I've overcome them.
Right.
I go, okay, listen, everyone thinks those people on TV have the great life and everything. No, it's not like that. We are all real. We're human. We go through things, and all you've got to do is just get out of bed when you don't feel like it. Sometimes that's the greatest courage you can have.
Yeah.
Is just to keep going when you feel like you just absolutely can't.
Yeah.
But when you're right in the middle of it, and I've always said this, if you need to feel sorry for yourself, if you want to be a little bit moody or whatever, try not to do it around your friends and family. Go to your own room. But the point is, we're human, and it's not meant to be easy, but we just need to get through it and know that we're not alone. There's so many people out there. But I can say through now it's at 16 surgeries. And I'm not sure how many minor, that's major, but minor, it would be probably well over 60 or 70 of the minor procedures that I've had to deal with the different things. But right in the middle of it, I've always dealt with that alone, kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like because it's kind of like that when you're dealing with it, you just got to get through it, You don't have to be brave. You don't have to be smiling. You don't have to be nice, chipper. Just get through it. Just keep getting out of bed. Just figure out, start walking again, get your strength up, make a plan. What are you going to do? And this time in the midst of it, I was getting letters and calls. My hospital, my daughter, and it was a fan from Jacksonville that just needed to pray for me, and in one way it felt a little intrusive at first, but there was so much love, I was just overcome with it. So I really think that it was a life lesson for me, and it was a great new experience for me, and I'm thankful for it. And I'm thankful to all of you.
Yeah, so I was just going to say, Jeanette, so I mean, I'm guessing with all the messages and things that came in, you obviously didn't have a chance, considering you were sick at the time, to actually get back to all these people. So this is a good platform, a good forum for you to address. I mean, what do you want to say to the people that reached out and were concerned about your health amongst all the things that were going on in their world?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of just trying to share that a little bit. I'm so thankful to all of you for supporting me, for sending me your messages, for praying for me. I felt the prayers, and it. I can't say it anymore. Um, I'm very sincere in my humility and thankfulness, and just right now, it's a time for the way that I'm looking at this COVID-19 is years ago, I was really hot in my mom's car, and she was supposed to drive me to this exhibition. And it's like 100 degrees out, and she insists on driving me, but her air conditioning is not working. And I'm like, Mom, how do you not have a car with air conditioning? It's 100 degrees out. And she goes, Don't you feel God's love? And I'm like, What are you talking about? I'm 24, number one in the world, going out to do an interview in the city. My mom's living in Bayside in the car, no air conditioning. And she's like, God loves us so much that he wanted us to take a moment and enjoy a free sauna. And I was like,
It's perspective. It's all about perspective.
Sounds like a story a mom tells.
Like, I'm just going to lean back and just like, oh. But after a while, like my shoulders and my stress, I was stuck in traffic, and I was just like, little by little, my shoulders relaxed. And I mean, what can we do? All right, I give. Just enjoy the sun. And somehow the rest of that drive, I mean, I was still like dripping, sweating, nasty. By the time I got there,
Enjoying your sauna.
COVID-19 is giving me an imposed vacation to reconnect with my family, with my friends, with my fans, my loved ones, reorganize my business, get the processes going.
All the stuff we've been putting off. Yeah.
Find quality. Yeah. Trying to make the most of it, similar to each surgery. As I got better, as I had more and more surgeries, it took me less time. Before I was feeling sorry for myself for this long. And now it's like, all right, this stinks. Now what? And then, I can kind of go right into, I think that's kind of the same as being a great pool player. I think a lot of times once you get to skill level 5, 6, 7, you have a plan, right? You're playing 9 ball. You have a plan. You get out of line. And right now, there's a much easier dead nut safety or something else right in front of your face, but you don't see it because you got this plan in your head and you're charging through. But now that you're out of line, that plan is a lot harder and you can't see what's in front of your face. And as you become a better player, you're able to adjust and just reset that, okay, here's my plan, get a little out of line. All right, is that still the best plan? Are there other options? Reassess, quick, boom, okay, get decisive.
Yep.
And I think that as we get better in pool and in life, it's the greatest thing we could do is be prepared for any opportunity than to get opportunities and not be prepared. So right now I'm using this time to prepare, to organize, and to look at, okay, what else does God have in store for me right now? And think about that. All you 6s and 5s, 6, 7, that's really what you need to think about, because you guys are at the level where you're really planning out your pool game, and you have to be able to kind of
got to roll with it.
Punches. Yeah, you got to be able to do that. And that is something that is not natural in us.
Yep. New data, new plan.
And out there, goal oriented, which is a strength in some ways, but there's also kind of a broader view you need to be able to take at times, right?
That's good. I love the positive attitude, and I think that hopefully that helps some of you folks out there that are struggling right now, whether it's mentally or physically. And Jeanette's had to kind of deal with both. Hey, Jeanette, I had a question because you did mention your mom. I know you got a lot of family back there in New York. Is everybody okay? And what's the story? Is your mom still in New York?
Yes. So my mom, my cousin, my mom had 8 brothers and sisters, and all but one of them stayed in New York for most of my life, and a lot of them are still in my life. Still in New York, and so far so good. They're all safe.
Good.
What's interesting is I've been getting calls nonstop, them worried about me, and pretty much every pastor of every church that they all go to has called me and prayed for me. Yeah. And it was scary enough for a little while there that I was like, keep them coming, because
can't hurt.
It really was. And all I thought about were my kids. I just, not that I don't love Jean and the APA and all my friends and family, but it was pretty emotional there for a bit.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, we're glad to see you starting to recover. What does recovery look like? I mean, I assume you're not playing pool right now, but like, are you up and about? What's the recovery? How are you feeling right now?
Yes. So it's been, I think 2 weeks. Has it been 2 weeks since I've been? Today was the 14th day at home.
Okay.
I am
Still
on an IV
Wow.
still for a couple more weeks before I'm released, but I feel a lot better. The tough part for me right now is that before the infection, before every surgery, so one of the conditions I have an autoimmune disease, ankylosing spondylitis. And so basically my immune system sees me as a virus and is attacking itself. So
that's not a good thing.
Right. So when it's under attack, there are flare-ups and all my joints swell up. So it's like an arthritic type of pain, stiffness and swelling. And so I have to take immune suppressants to keep it down, so that with treatment, which I used to go to the hospital, an infusion center every 4 weeks for 4.5 hours on an IV drip. Now I'm doing injections, Cosentyx, methotrexate, similar to the things that leukemia patients take. It's not a fatal disease. It's just horribly painful.
Quality of life is bad.
Well, I've been able to manage it unless I get off the medicine. Well, because I'm going to have a surgery, they make me get off of it so that my immune system can build back up. Because the medicine I take suppresses it.
Sure.
If that makes any sense. So before each surgery, I get off of it. Well, after each surgery, I never was able to recover. And we've had actually in total, 3 different infectious disease specialists trying to figure out, how did this happen? What's going on? And so far, 3 separate ones. They really, it could have been something in the surgery or in the wound care, but more than likely, they believe it is my autoimmune disease that just doesn't want foreign thing in its body. It was so successful, in my opinion, in terms of getting rid of the pain, that I'm going to try again.
Sure.
Wow. Even though it might not work again, right?
Yeah, but it's a game changer. I mean, the Black Widow will be back, because I feel like even I know I've been around a long time, and I've just over the last 10 years been in and out, but my passion for the game and my passion for the sport, there's the game, there's what I get out of it, playing pool, breaking balls, taking names,
Sure.
being creative, being an artist, and I love that. But I also love the whole idea of the sport and our whole industry and what we have. And I think people can take trophies and accolades and titles, but for me, it really is, your legacy is about what you took, what you gained, what you earned, and what did you do with that? Did you do anything good in the world, or was it just for you? And for me, I'm comfortable enough in my own skin. I don't love my own skin, but I'm comfortable enough that I have what I need. Now, what can I do?
Sure.
And so for me, it's been frustrating. We're not on ESPN as much. I feel like there's so much more that I can do, and my body just kept letting me down.
Mm-hmm.
And when I experienced that spinal cord stimulator for just those 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it was I can't explain it.
So you're full on planning on a comeback. I mean, you're not
absolutely 100%.
You're like you want to get back in the thick of things. You want to be back playing in any of the ladies events.
I want to
maybe some of these events, like I was, good for you. I mean, I think
get at it.
I'm happy to see that you still got that passion, because that takes a lot to put your body through all that just so you can continue to pursue that passion. It's good that that you still hang on to that. I think that's great. I
don't feel like I ever got burnt out, because my whole career has been battling my physical, with all my back surgeries. I mean, it's 12, 13 back surgeries. It's just been such a battle. But if I could just, this spinal cord stimulator, the big thing that it changed, it's not the arthritis and all the other pain. It's bending and walking. That with my sciatic pain and my lower back pain, I just couldn't get there. But I'm just so hungry, and the women are so much stronger than they ever have been. The men are so much stronger. So where my sights were then are now like, wow. So don't get me wrong. I have a tremendous amount of respect for the level of the players that are out there today, but there's room for a little Black Widow to come up and get some, know?
Nice.
And I just don't feel like we can be our own worst enemies. And for me, especially with the support that I have with Jean, with the APA, which, by the way, this is not just because I'm on with APA, but the support that I have felt with them having my back throughout from day one to now, I really, I'm thankful. And my kids are, oh, by the way, before I did this, my kids are like, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm going to be on. And they're like, Mom, listen, focus on what I'm saying to you right now. This is like my 9-year-old. I'm like, what is it? I got to get my makeup on. She goes, just be real. Be you.
Your 9-year-old is saying this?
No eyelash. I have no fake eyelashes on. She's like, no fake eyelashes, no hair extensions. You. They need the real you because you inspire people. And I'm like, and I was like, I'm putting my eyelashes on. She's like, no, you don't need any of that. You just be you, be Jeanette. Don't worry about anything else. They like Black Widow, but right now, be you.
That's cool.
And
I like that.
like, literally, like,
Your kids are cool.
Makeup on my eyeshadow. And she's like, Mom, look.
I remember the kids from when we were there.
Yeah.
Steve and I played them in a match. I think they won.
I'm pretty sure they won. And I'm pretty sure they made fun of us a lot, too, as they beat us.
Yeah, they weren't the most sportsmanlike, Jeanette, just so you know.
Hi, Chloe.
Hi!
You could see she was messing with makeup a little bit with me.
Oh,
but
man, they look so much bigger than the last time we saw them. It's been 2 years since we've seen them.
And she said, no big dressy clothes, just be you, because everybody's in their house trap and they need the real you.
That's a good point. She was right.
My
Wise
hair
beyond
is
her years.
Nice.
A side effect of a lot of this medicine is a lot of my hair has come out, so I do kind of try to fluff it up a little bit, but for some reason the girls can't stand it. I'm like, you don't understand, okay?
Yeah. Hey, Jeanette. Speaking of the girls and Jean, we've talked a lot about. So I'm super happy to see that you are on the road to recovery, and I think we'll all continue to root you on in that. I'm curious though, now with the in the social distancing, self-quarantine era now. I'm assuming you are at home in Tampa with all three girls. Jean, what's the self-quarantine situation look like? Are you guys like driving each other crazy? What's going on there?
Well, we have in the house, we have Jean, myself, Cheyenne, who's 15, Chloe, who's 10, Savannah, who's 9, my 115-pound dog, Duke, who I cannot lift up. This is Thor.
Hi, Thor.
He's our little beast watchdog.
That's
and
amazing.
then we have our good friend, their Aunt Julie, who's here, who's been helping for some time, especially as my pain took a nosedive. She came and she just helps with the kids. I would call live-in nanny / friend.
Well, thumbs up for Julie, because I mean she's got to be coming in huge for you right now, not feeling well and managing all the kids.
Couldn't do without her. But anything that comes, so first of all, no one's in or out of the house.
Yeah.
Except Julie or Jean. Once a week, one of them will go with a glove and mask on to the grocery store only. When they come back, all outside containers are thrown away. The contents are transferred into one of our safe dishes. Anything that's been touched, basically, we give it 72 hours before we start touching anything. That way it's COVID free. Any Amex or APA not Amex, FedEx packages or anything like that, we open it up outside.
Yeah.
Leave the container outside.
Wash your hands when you come in, that kind of thing.
So we are really, really vigilant about, because the kids and
your own health, right?
Yeah, you said you're immunosuppressed.
You're a high risk person.
Yeah, with an autoimmune, they basically say anyone over 65 and anyone with an autoimmune disease. That's me. So
Yeah.
we're all being very, very careful and social distancing. Today, I actually let the girls. We walked the dog for a little bit, but I haven't even wanted them walking anywhere. We have a nice big backyard with a big swimming pool where they can get fresh air and plenty of exercise. And we get up in the morning and they've got schoolwork. They log into Zoom and we're doing our schoolwork. I just insist that we have lunch together, dinner together, and family time after dinner. So we either play cards, we play life, we watch a movie together. But those are the three where we have to have that time to connect.
Yeah.
Outside of that, they all have their own schoolwork. I have my own business that I've got to work on. I actually want to start doing. This is the first week I've felt up for it, and thank you guys for being so patient with me because I really didn't feel up to it last year, but not last week. But I'm hoping to do a regular. Would you say vlog or what would you say?
I think you're looking to interact more with your fans, right? I mean, through your social media overall. So
yeah, so I'm going to figure out a regular date, and I'll definitely put it out on my social media. I'm sure you guys will share also.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
I got to tell you, Jeanette, after hearing all the structure you've got in your house with your kids, I don't know about you, Steve, but I'm feeling like a little like, oh, man, I'm not doing any of that. And I got a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old. And, like, we're just trying to keep the house from, like, catching fire, basically. So I'm like I'm just in awe of, especially considering that
you're
had
sick.
trouble getting up and about. You got a lot of control of that household. I'm impressed.
I order around a lot from bed, but I'm getting up. I mean, now I have this unit now it can travel with me.
Yay! So you're not stuck in a seat.
We just have to change it every day at 5:00. We have it, and we have an in-home nurse that comes and redoes this whole thing every week as well. And we study or work in the morning, and we have lunch. Then we have exercise time. Then some more study/work, and I give them a lot of freedom. I just don't want it to be all on the computer. So the only thing they're allowed to do on the computer outside of schoolwork is work on a second language or work on.
I was with you, Jeanette.
I was in the afternoon.
I know, right? And you're gonna learn to
cooking class in the evening.
You lost me there.
They did a bunch. They were able to do their homework on my sidewalk with sidewalk chalk. It's like the biggest pattern diagram formula. I mean, you should see some of the art pieces that they have made. Savannah, you should show me that box. Did you turn it in? Oh, I lost the girls anyway.
They're going. Attention span done.
A lot of art stuff. We're making all different. We're cooking. We're baking.
Good for you.
We're
I am
taking
impressed.
a nap, letting them watch a movie occasionally.
Good for you. I think that is fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow. And I'm
a
impressed.
lot of times we have to do it with me in bed because I'm not feeling good, but they're used to that. They come and cuddle.
Yeah. Good kids you got there.
Yeah.
Good kiddos. All right, so let's change it up a little bit. Like we talked a lot about health. We've talked a little bit about quarantine. We got a little game that we want to play with you. We got we're calling it Quarantine Trivia. I don't know if you saw our
that is gorgeous.
That.
Very well done.
Savannah.
Wow.
Yep.
You got to put that on eBay and let people bid on it. baby Black Widow art.
This is Chloe.
Hi, Chloe.
Really quickly. And I don't know if you can see, but she had to do an art assignment. And Chloe said that she had to do a drawing of something that reminds her of. Oh, they said that she had to draw joy. And so she drew that. But you said this was me, or this is what? Say it. What did you say?
The project was to draw something, or not draw something, but to create something that brings you joy. And it was impersonated off of you.
Okay, so it was a school project that she had to draw, create anything that reminded her of joy. And so she wanted to do a drawing impersonating off of me and what she thought was my strength. And so,
are you trying to make me cry?
I might tear up a little bit.
I
And
mean,
we got our little mask on, but I mean,
oh my.
isn't that so cool?
That is
It
super
is.
cool.
It's
That is
super
super
sweet.
cool.
This is her
Super.
latest thing she's working on. I don't remember what this is. A cyborg.
Huh.
Anyway,
A little
I
hard
love
to
it.
see on there,
I'm
but
proud of my girls.
boy, you're the good artists they are.
No
Good
doubt.
artists. Well, it remains to be seen if they'll be good artists on the pool table. What do you think? Are they going to be pool players?
They are in
We
my.
got-
I know you got
they
the,
beat
I know you
us.
got the
Are in
table
my
at home.
APA Juniors division, and
Yeah.
they went last year, and Chloe won a couple of matches, and so
Nice.
it
I
was.
remember.
For me, I think the thing that I push is I don't care what you want to be as long as you just work hard. And
Go
if
for
you
it.
don't know yet what you want to be, then try everything. Just don't limit
Love it.
yourself to
Yeah.
say,
Throw it
"I
against
won't
the wall,
like
see
that.
what
I don't
sticks."
know." I'm like, yep. I'm like,
And it's okay if it
even-
doesn't.
Yeah, but at least try it. I
Right.
mean, that's my rule with food. I'm not going to force you to eat. You got to eat your green beans. No, there's plenty of other vegetables out there, but you've got to try it. Right?
Right.
I don't care. You don't have. I won't make you eat anything, but you're going to at least try it. And so they're pretty good. They eat a lot.
I think we should write a parenting book, Jeanette, like Black Widow
Sorry.
Motherhood 1-on-1, and we'll 101, and we can do a book. So let's I want to have some fun.
I have
Hey,
5 daughters and a son. I didn't mention that.
crazy.
And I have 5 grandchildren. So my
God love
daughter
you.
Morgan has Elliot, Elijah, and then she just had twins. They just had their 1 year, Eleanor and Sebastian. But my daughter Olivia, the second oldest, just had River, her first daughter River. So that was
Congratulations.
Congrats. That's crazy.
Yes.
Everybody's growing up. I was thinking about today how I think Cheyenne, the first time I saw her, you won that 2004 event at the Hard Rock.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah,
and you
that's
like
right.
lifted her up
One
like
went
very
to Austria from there. Yep.
like,
I tried to
what's the
find
movie,
that clip.
What's the Disney movie where Simba gets raised up? That's what I
Lion
felt
King.
like. You lifted Cheyenne
Simba.
up along the
Circle
Baby
of life.
Oh my
and what?
God.
So she's probably old enough to drive now, right?
She is. She's not
Wow.
anxious to drive. She
My kid isn't either. It's
she
weird.
she's amazing. She's smart, she's sweet, she's beautiful, she's introverted, she's artistic, she wants to be a writer. She loves to write, she loves to draw, she loves to create. She did get diagnosed with ADHD, severe anxiety and depression, and she's in the autism spectrum.
Wow.
So those, when she was younger, she looked perfectly nice and sweet. She still does. But she does internally, there's a lot going on up there.
I understand.
So
Believe me.
I think it's been great for me because I tend to go hard, go at everything, very like, I'm very strong-minded and I tend to push. And for her, things need to be calm.
Yeah.
And relaxed. And that's not something I've ever been.
But I tell you what, I bet she's been super
it
good
is
for you
that.
and helping you learn how to do that.
That's exactly right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Just to be able to be calm for her has brought a new good
Oh yeah.
perspective in my life that has allowed
Balance.
me to breathe and enjoy things in a way that I couldn't previously. And so we are very close, and really no one talking to her would be able to tell what she goes
High
through. But she
functioning.
goes through a lot. Yeah, she's high function. And she has this thing where her moods go very high, and even when she gets excited, like if she's reading a book that she'll start pacing or moaning or where she can't contain it as well. But she's managing, and I don't know, she's always going to be very special to me. She is. Yeah. Let's talk about pool, though.
Well, no.
Pool.
So here, before we talk about what I want to talk about is, so I don't know if you probably haven't been on the internet as much, but we started doing this thing with some of the team back at the office, this Tuesday with teammates, where basically we're doing this happy hour each Tuesday with our teammates, kind of staying in touch, and we're encouraging other teams to do the same thing. But one of the things that we did in our last Tuesday with teammates is we played a little game and we called it Quarantine Trivia. So I thought, you know what, let's have a little fun with the Black Widow. Let's throw a couple of the quarantine trivia questions at her and see how she responds. So we're gonna feed you a couple questions. We'll just do a couple, and then we'll see what the Black Widow has to say. Steve, you got the questions ready to roll?
I do indeed.
Jeanette, are you ready for this? Are you
ready?
ready
I am.
for this?
I'm ready. Yep.
Okay, let's
All right.
do this. What's question number one?
Question
Steve?
number one, and the audience at home is seeing the question. Jeanette, I'm going to read it to you. And audience, feel free to answer the question as well. And if I see some clever ones, I'll try to shout them out for you. But the question is, if you had to pick one professional player to be quarantined with, who would it be and why?
Ooh.
One professional pool player
to quarantine with. You're stuck.
You're going to be with them for a long, long time.
Who is it and why?
Someone living?
Well, unless you want, I mean, I'm not going to tell you what you want going in your house, but I'm thinking for somebody with autoimmune disease, having a dead body
zombies
in the house
are bad.
Would be a bad issue.
Zombies. Yeah, because I learned so much from Jeanette, and
do they have to be alive?
Gave me a love of the game. Yeah, well, so this is what I'm thinking. My favorite player to watch is and has and probably always will be Efren Reyes. Just watching him over the years in person and on TV and in all the different disciplines.
Yeah.
However, not real talkative, So I'm thinking.
So where's the balance?
He may not even speak English. I'm not sure if he speaks.
I could watch him, but we wouldn't have much of a conversation. And in fact, he might end up murdering me because, it would get old for him. But I would like somebody. I want someone that I can learn from, not just by watching, but somebody to. Every great thing in life is only as good as who you can share it with, in my opinion.
And so, who is that person? Are you leading up? Or are you trying to defer on us?
I think she might be stalling. This sounds like stalling.
To come up with the answer?
It's what I do when I'm trying to go through my answer. Just first impression. Hurt some feelings, Jeanette.
You know what? In all the people that I've been around, see, I'm thinking Nick Varner, if he was willing to teach me for free, I would probably get stuck on it. He's got a ton of knowledge. But
is a qualifier?
Actually, well, I learned a lot from Danny DiLiberto, believe it or not. I'm just talking about different parts of my life, listening to him and the different things and the stories he had and his humor and his love of the game.
All right. So what I'm hearing here is you're picking people based on what you might be able to learn from them. That's what I've heard in every
while
answer.
Balancing with him.
Whereas if I'm answering it, maybe I'm picking like who cooks the best or who has the best hygiene and keeps things clean in the house. Because I'm going to be with them for so long. So I get where you're going. You want somebody that can teach you something, and I respect that.
I thought you said pool player.
I just said any pool player to self-quarantine with. I didn't say why you would pick them. I left that up to you, and you indicated teaching, which is very cool. And
there's not a ton of things I can do well, but it's playing pool, cooking, painting people's nails, giving a good massage. That's it.
So you're not a bad person to be quarantined with.
You made a pretty good career out of those things. So you're doing all right.
Hugs. I'm big on hugs.
That's great. We like hugs too.
But so it would all be about learning.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Nick Varner or Danny DiLiberto?
I mean, the thing is that the only reason why is because I've spent enough time with Nick and Danny that in the little bits they speak, they're like gold.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So they
talk and it's like
none of the other female professionals, not Allison Fisher or somebody like that?
No.
Okay.
English. No. Listen, Allison is a great.
I'm just joking.
She is
we know the friendly rivalry that you guys have.
We baited you. We baited you.
Rivalry that will probably be there forever. But I do believe. I mean, I can't speak for her, but I have a tremendous amount of respect for her.
I know. I'm
sure she does.
She's an awesome person.
I took a photo of you and Allison at the 2018 Moscone Cup, and it was one of my favorite photos from the event. So
there we go. All right, let's.
There's a lot of of us doing this to each other, but it was a great rivalry. I would have liked it to last longer, but I couldn't put the time in. you know, with my pool game.
So let's get to the next question. What's number 2 on the quarantine trivia question list, Steve?
This one's a little easier.
A little easier.
A little less personal. If you could only watch one TV show during all of this, what TV show is the Black Widow watching?
If you could watch one TV show.
And again, audience, feel free. By the way, the last question we had a lot of Earl the Pearl on quarantine. We had SVB. That'd be interesting, Earl the Pearl.
Water almost came out my nose. Water almost came out my nose when I heard that one. That's funny.
So an audience, feel free to answer this one as well.
Whew.
Yeah, somebody help me out. I mean, I do.
Do you not watch a lot of TV?
Now I do. I was actually talking to Jean about how I feel like I watch too much TV now. Because for years, I mean, I literally was talking. I just put a post, like literally early today about my run-in with Reggie Bush, my Reggie Bush story. Yeah. And I really, when I met his girlfriend, Kim
Kardashian, by the way, for those of you who don't know who she's talking about. Not Kim Kardashian.
Yeah. Reggie Bush is the football player.
Right.
But I met him when he was like 8 or 9 years old.
Sure.
And I was like, you can believe in yourself and you just go for it and stay friends. And I signed a picture for him and he sent me his little school picture and I was like, sign the back because you're going to be famous one day.
That's cool.
You know, all this stuff. And years later we meet up and I meet his girlfriend, Kim, who I just thought was beautiful. But anyway, I'm at this celebrity event that he asked me to do for New Orleans, you know, and so later on, months later, I'm told about how I was on the Kardashians. I'd heard of the Kardashians. I'm like, I would know if I was on the Kardashians. No, I've never been on the Kardashians.
But it turns out
everywhere. Turns out I was on the.
You were on the show.
Wow.
I guess whoever was filming her filmed her meeting me, filmed me.
So what was the interaction? What did you do? Did you guys play pool? What was your interaction with her that was filmed?
I kind of watched a little bit of it.
She didn't even watch the show.
Somebody sent me a.
That's funny.
Actually, you know what? I'll post. A friend of mine filmed the part that was on TV, so I'll share that.
Okay, so wait, is your answer to the question?
Very nice.
Right, I know.
Is your answer to the question then the show you watched?
No.
Okay. What?
No, my point in that
side story.
That's my problem. Is I kind of go like this with my story.
It's okay. It's okay.
ADHD.
To remind the audience, this is the question that we're asking. If you can only watch one TV show during all of this, what TV show is the Black Widow watching?
All right. So for me, the way that I think, I like a lot of like Law and Order, Criminal Minds, things like that. My whole
Good
pregnancy. Show. But I also like The Voice, X Factor, American Idol.
Interesting.
It's something. First of all, I love music, although I don't know all the names of the albums and all the artists or whatever. But I love the way it makes you feel. But I love the stories.
Sure.
And I haven't watched it lately, but for a long time, The Biggest Loser, which is funny because I know I don't have a weight problem. But I can't imagine something that could be tougher to overcome.
Oh yeah.
So is the answer the biggest?
Yourself to get to 300, 400 pounds, and then all of the mental things you have to.
You gotta dig yourself out of a hole.
Because none of that's got nothing to do with the weight. It's you know what I mean.
It's a manifestation of something else going on. Yep.
Yeah, and so. Totally different, but when you think about The Voice and the different things they overcome to try to become what they want to do, I don't know. I just love.
Are you going with The Biggest Loser? Are you going with The Biggest Loser?
I know she still told us like 3.
God, these are tough.
One.
You get one.
What's my favorite?
She asked someone else. I love it. Jeanette, you're my favorite. I just want you to know that.
Oh, you know what? I also like The Good Doctor.
That is a good show.
Okay.
That is a good show.
I was really into This Is Us, and then somehow I kind of.
All right, Steve, go to the next question. We're definitely not getting this. We're definitely not getting an answer to this.
All right.
We're canceling.
Our family's favorite show that everybody likes watching together is AGT, America's Got Talent.
That's fair.
There you go.
Fair.
That's good enough. Good enough.
Good show. I cry all the time watching YouTube videos from that.
We're probably not getting an answer to the next question, but
probably not.
Anyway,
Let's ask
Steve.
it anyway. If you could only eat one meal, and I actually made a typo here, so sorry, audience.
Korean food.
Korean food?
All day.
Okay.
All right, well, that one was easy. We got an answer there.
Nice.
Want to right to the next one?
Yeah. Straight to the next one.
All right, this is a deeper question. You can go any direction. You can be funny with it. You can be deep with it. You can do a combination of all three, which is, I guess, is what's going to happen. But
our writers got deep with it here.
Yeah. What is the one thing that you miss most during this time of self-quarantine?
I've got my family. I'm connected with my friends. I'm happy. I don't know. I don't know that I can't say that it was, I would say having people to play pool with, like having more people be able to go out and compete and do whatever. I mean, I was just starting to do it. And Gene and I play pool. We can play pool. And of course, his son, Cody, although he's quarantined in another house, but I'm sure that in a little, we're not going to be apart this whole time. As long as we've both been quarantined, we're fine. But I would say that's the biggest thing I'd miss is I like
to play with.
Competition. I like having different rack boys.
There you go. That's a good answer.
That is a good answer. I like that answer. Everything you have, that's great.
We should have anticipated that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
So now we know what the Black Widow does on quarantine. But so what, Steve? We got some video highlights from the Black Widow career. We were gonna run through real over a few minutes and just get some perspective on them. I don't know if we'll watch them in their entirety, but we'll just check out some. We're looking at is this a Ford commercial?
This is a Ford commercial.
How'd you get hooked up with a Ford commercial, Jeanette? That's pretty cool.
They called me. Let me see. Was it? It was Ford. Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna go ahead and play this. This is pretty short.
Go ahead.
And the audience at home can see it. You can walk us through what's going on.
This is about 4 days after I had Savannah.
Oh wow! Well done.
I had literally. You can see me. I've got that very round, fuller figure at that time. I don't know if you can tell that, but it was.
We're not allowed to comment. We're married.
Okay, sorry. Yes, but this is where people were bumping into me in the airports going, Miss Simmons, because everyone thought I was Kimora Lee Simmons. Like, I'd never been called Kimora Lee Simmons more than right before, during, and after I had Savannah. Just, I don't know. And I have seen pictures of her. I can see the.
Yeah.
Did you come up with this shot?
How long did that ad take to shoot? Like a 1 day type shoot kind of thing? Where'd you do that at?
That in LA.
LA.
Yeah,
okay.
we had a big studio. We did. That was pretty cool right there.
It's a cool shot.
They had me. Yep. I was making this jump shot. We actually did quite a few different. There's my shoes.
Now those are your shoes. I was going to ask.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the only thing is this is one part where, and I'm using my Black Widow cue ball right there. Now watch, there's a hand right there. That's not my hand.
Oh, let's go back.
You see that right there? My hand does not look like that. It's a man hand.
Oh, wow. Okay, so a little secret revealed there, folks.
Yes,
Not Jeanette's
right
hand.
there.
That is not the Black Widow's hand.
Somebody decided
The stunt double.
Yeah, I had a different. Apparently, I needed a hand double.
Did you demand answers from the commercial's director? And did you say, "How dare you replace my hand?" Or how did that conversation go?
We had a talk. No.
I tell you what.
Share.
Yeah.
Share.
One of the things that's always impressed me with you, and we're going to see some other things that you've done media-wise, is, and I don't know that you get enough credit for this in terms of your overall success, but you rarely say no to an opportunity. Right. Like, I mean, I've always known you. I'll be like, hey, can you get up at 5:00 in the morning and do this radio show at 5:30? Yes. And you're like, okay. You know, I mean, you just like, I don't think I've ever had you say no, I can't do it, or no. And so I know, and so as we watch these, you know, that this is what happens when you say yes. You start seeing bigger opportunities, and so Steve's going to roll. Well, I don't know what the next one Steve is, but oh, this is great! Sports Center, ESPN Sports Center. That's huge.
That was awesome. Keeping a straight face was impossible. I can't tell you the number of takes because I'm literally like this and they want me to look Black Widow, which I wasn't used to making that face standing. Normally I'm down shooting and they're like, oh no. And I'm trying to do this. And he's just like, ah.
I would have loved to see like a super cut of all the bloopers of this one.
Yeah, no, there were because that particular one he ate the end, but before he took the whole thing and was like, ah.
So, being a production person, I gotta ask this question: how many Subway sandwiches did you go through? Because every take you gotta toss that thing and do another sandwich.
Yeah,
so you gotta have like how many sandwiches did you guys have?
Honestly, I don't remember. I don't remember how many, because he's the one that was dealing with the sandwiches. I was just dealing with the, it was a lot of fun though.
That's a cool experience.
Trey, I can't remember his last name. Trey something, another very known
I love this
sportscaster there at ESPN, but he had us playing pool, and at one point he turned and they had a Black Widow's ring where he, I opened it and put something in his drink. I don't know. I've got to find that commercial too.
That's great. But I just think that illustrates it, and this is really a message for the professional players out there. Say yes to opportunities, right? I mean, if somebody comes along and says, "Hey, do you want to do an interview or do you want to do this or that?" Why wouldn't you? Why would you not want to get your name out there, your sponsors' names out there? And the more stuff you do like that, the more opportunities like this find you. And I think that's a great example. You got another one queued up?
I would agree.
Sure
when I was on WPBA, the Women's Professional Billiards Association, every opportunity at every tournament, whether it was radio, whether it was Good Morning TV, it didn't matter. I said yes, yes, yes. And I feel like that grassroots effort, it does kind of build, right? Yeah. It just continues to grow to where, you really develop a fan base. And it wasn't just for me. I mean, I did see it as a good thing for me, but I also felt, and I don't know why, but I always felt obligated to, in my own mind, I saw Pool and me as a relationship. So it sounds really corny now that I'm actually saying it out loud, but I feel like I've gotten so much from Pool. I love this game. So if I have the opportunity to share my love of this game, I'm kind of obligated to.
Sure, I get that.
Passion. I mean, that's
not
passion.
so much of WPBA and everybody, which was great, but I think I just felt a little bit of that it was kind of an honor to be able to do it. Yeah. And of course, a byproduct of it is me getting more known, but that's not how it started in my mind.
Sure.
Nice. I like that.
It was more of a responsibility.
What is this? This is Korean Dancing with the Stars. So this is like the Dancing in the Stars in America, but this is like they do their Korean version, right? I mean,
right. Dancing with the Stars. I remember watching and going, oh my God. When I was younger, I said, if I could do anything, I would, and still, throughout my career, I was so busy between trying to become a great player and traveling around the world. But if I could ever take like an 12-week cooking course, culinary class, or dance, I just thought that would be so much fun. But I was never home for 8 weeks at a time. Yeah. But I always thought that would be great. And they called me and they're like, oh, Jeanette Lee, do you want to be a Dancing with the Stars? I'm like, oh my God. Yes, but okay, so you have to be in Korea, you start for 8 weeks this, do that, and I'm like, I can't. I'm like, I've got detritus in my left leg, I can't lift it up, I can only lift it up 4 inches, I have no strength. They're like, don't worry, just come. And I'm like, well, I can't turn my neck.
Look at this, though.
I know, right?
I'm like, don't worry. And I'm like, well, my doctor's told me, it's okay, just come. And so I kept saying no, even though I wanted to, but I didn't think it was very responsible and it was dangerous. But they kept raising my fee.
Hey, we all got a price, right?
I mean, that's the truth of it. It just got to the point where, because I also told them I'm not going to be gone from my children for 2-3 months.
That's
and if I really did well, it would have been 5-6 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
So at a certain point, there was enough for me. I literally brought my whole family, like all my kids. My mom came, took time off work.
Moved over there for a while, essentially. How many times did you lose your hat?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jay.
I was gonna say, how long did this go on then? Like, how long were you in Korea? How long were you on the show?
I was there about 2.5 months.
Oh wow. Okay.
And it was the hardest physical thing I've ever had. I literally would open my eyes, and my mom would be standing there and to help me out of bed. Because at this time I was still going through everything. So she would help me out of bed and walk me to the bathroom. And it was literally like almost like she was just standing there waiting for me to wake up. Because every morning when my eyes opened, my mom was there. And she helped me to a warm bath where I sat there and I would listen and watch the choreography. And she would have hot tea. I'd come out of the bath, which allowed me to then start moving. There was a feast that my aunt and uncle in Seoul prepared for me, and then we would go to the gym. We would work out. We'd go from the gym to the dance hall, work on the routine, go back, lay down for 25 minutes exactly.
Wow.
Get up, go to the gym, come back, do the dance rehearsal, go back, have dinner, go back to the gym, go to bed, wake up, do it all over again.
Wow.
And this is in between. There's not news cameras, but TV cameras at the dance hall, at the gym, while we're eating in the house. I mean, they're everywhere. And during that time, they did a huge documentary on me also, separate from this show. All right, I was terrible doing salsa. I was terrible. You gotta remember,
I think you look great.
Hey,
if you saw my waltz. Oh my God! I have never felt like a princess.
Jeanette,
ever.
I promise you, I will pick out the waltz next time.
You gotta find the waltz. So were you on multiple
Cinderella or whatever?
Were you on multiple episodes? Like, did you make it to like another?
I was in 5.
Oh wow!
Well, you said episodes. I didn't actually make it 5 weeks of dance. So episodes is the premiere, talking about all the da-da-da-da-da,
sure.
And then the warm up, and then the I think in total, I got knocked out the 3rd week. So basically,
that's good.
There was only me and 2 others that were the internationals. And it's very different because they don't limit how much you can vote. And the different people that were on there were also pop stars.
Oh.
Korean pop stars.
Yeah.
Like really, really big pop stars. And it turned out a lot more of it had to do with popularity.
Shocker, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at least
you still got to do the experience.
You followed that whole thing. There were some people on there that were way worse than me, that lasted a lot longer than some others that were very obviously better. But
you sound a little competitive, Jeanette.
I know, right?
You sound ultra competitive. No. Of course you're competitive.
I didn't think I would make it to the first show. I mean, I was in so much pain. And I had the time of my life.
That's cool. That's a cool experience. I mean, how often do you get to do something like that? So what do we got here? This is the what do we got here? This is the motorcycle thing, right?
Yep, American Chopper.
Orange County Choppers.
Hey, there's the team. So cool.
So what was this like?
Cool, that whole crew were humble, excited, came back. Paul had me go back in his office and he gave me a book and he started talking about him and his back and me and my back and some of the things that we'd gone through. And he was a very gentle, just a gentle giant. And, he's just, I will say that I played him and he's like, come on, let's play. He wanted me to break. And I was like, you don't want me to break. You break.
You want to at least let him shoot once, right?
Break. So of course I broke and ran out. And he's like, no. We're doing it again. Cut that out.
A little bit better TV when he gets a chance.
So we had to keep doing it because he wanted a chance to. Yeah, so we had to keep playing until there was a rack he liked.
And knowing you didn't let up on the guy, did you?
I did.
I don't believe you.
Oh, here we go. How many times have you done this shot to somebody?
Knock a ball out of someone's mouth?
Yeah, the chalk in the mouth. Hundreds of times?
A lot.
How many times have you given somebody a concussion? Never?
None that I admit to. Although I will say, earlier in my career, I did this shot on the George.
Oh,
Oh,
well, there was one. There was one.
Slam right in his cheek. Look at that. We did have some fun. You got to have 3 pieces to talk, people.
3 pieces.
I learned that. Well, that was actually easy.
There you go. There you go. Woo. Much better the second time.
Yes.
So, like, do we have the bike? Did you see the bike
beautiful.
in there at all, Steve?
No, this is
we
the
didn't see the
preview.
bike. So what happened with the bike?
I'll put some pictures out.
Yeah, put them on your. You were talking about your Instagram page. Get some of the chopper pics. So I'm guessing you didn't get to keep the motorcycle.
That's what I'm doing during this coronavirus or pandemic. Is I'm gonna start filling up my Instagram and my Twitter. I'm sorry, my earrings are starting to hurt my ear.
I want to see you
And
hit
so,
this guy
so
again.
you didn't get to keep the bike though, right? Did you keep it, or somebody else gets to keep it? How did that work
Yeah, the
out?
sponsor. I was at the time sponsored with Liquid Wick, and they.
I can watch that a bunch.
Yeah. Trust me, they had fun. It was so incredible through the shop. They took a lot of time to show me. I mean, they used water to laser and cut out all the little black widows. They made me a lot of things.
So where is this bike now? Is what I'm getting at. Like somewhere out there's this Black Widow custom bike made by Orange County Choppers, right? Where is the bike?
Yes, I should have another one made.
But where's the original? Where is this?
The original is owned by Rich Gustin of the Gustin Group, who sponsored the episode and the bike.
Okay. So is this like a just I don't know what that
I tried to ride it. It was
not a good ride.
Couldn't. I just fell over. It was a little too. I need to beef up a little bit.
Okay. Well, somebody's riding that bike somewhere, so that's pretty cool. I'd love to know who's got it these days. If somebody out there knows, that'd be pretty cool. So this one,
Rich Gustin definitely has it. Because later on we ended up doing a settlement because. Anyway, he had some of his own issues, and I tried to get that in the settlement, and that was the one thing he was keeping. So I ended up with a lot of Liquid Wick cues and pool tables and all this other stuff.
All right, I won't ask any more questions about the bike then.
Yes.
So now we've got, this was a piece that was maybe 2 summers ago. Ronnie O'Sullivan is literally one of the best snooker players, right, in the entire world. He's a millionaire. So I think this was BBC. Or somebody that did this like documentary show with him that what network was it? I don't even remember what network it was. Maybe History Channel is what it was.
I don't know.
I think it was History Channel, but
it says Blaze in the corner.
But I think here it was History Channel, and anyway, I saw some of this. So you got it to be a part of this, which had to be pretty cool too.
It was. Again, it's kind of cool, all the different people that I've met, because what the image that you get when you see someone on TV and in person, he's another just very gentle, sweet, respectful. I've always heard Ronnie O'Sullivan as like the bad boy of snooker, and
I've heard that too. Yeah.
I've just heard.
So you had never met him before this?
Never. No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I've heard of him.
Right.
I mean, when I first started, I'm not sure that how much he was playing. I mean, Steve Davis and Jimmy White and some of those guys were more well known in the snooker world. I think he was coming up at that point, but he's a great shot maker. He didn't know the game. I don't think it would take him long to figure it out. I mean, he's great at pocketing the ball, but he didn't. What made it sad is we were playing straight pool, but I don't think he really appreciated the game of straight pool. You know what I mean?
I'm kind of fascinated by the idea of a meeting because here you've got like really ultra high level personalities within their billiard game, but they're different. Like you guys have never met. Like everybody in the pool world. He knows everybody, I'm sure, in the snooker world. You guys kind of operate on a very like similar path, but you've never crossed paths. And so when you guys come together, that's kind of interesting to me. Is that meetup there?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to play this game where it's just more popular in England than it is here, right?
Sure.
So who we won't watch the whole thing. Who ends up winning this match?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh no!
I like 2 points. Oh my god!
Okay.
This isn't the whole match. This is like a minute 40 like preview clip. So I actually did. It doesn't say who wins, so she can.
Beat him.
Yeah, I have no evidence, Jeanette.
You've never seen it. We've never seen a match Jeanette lost.
Come in.
Right.
Nice.
I
Nice,
certainly have
nice.
never beat you.
So do we have any other videos, Steve? Or we see the videos?
I think.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Jeanette, one of my favorites. Here we go.
Do you want me to let it
Remember-
display?
This is Jeanette and I together years ago at their old Riviera. Look at it in all its glory. What's about to happen here, Jeanette? Like, I just want to preface what happens next. You asked me to do. You asked me to do this, right?
No, it was
Yes.
a surprise.
You did.
I had on my Gucci shoes and my I don't know.
Jeanette, you asked. You do a
I
whole
did.
spiel here.
This was back during the Ice Bucket Challenge thing.
That's
What,
right.
what was that, like maybe 2014 when
It was a
everybody
while
was
ago.
like, you
ALS,
dump a,
right?
yeah,
ALS.
you dump
Yep.
a bucket of ice on your head and then you like tell somebody else, hey, now you have to do it. And so
Yes,
this
yes.
is Jeanette having been challenged by somebody. Let's play the clip, Steve. It's
All right.
dun dun dun.
I've never seen a happier Jason Bowman in my life. Ever in my life.
There, Jason.
And then she jumps into the hot pool, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, right into the pool.
There it
You
goes.
are a trooper. I think you always jump in the pool pretty much. You're always in that pool.
Yeah. It's
Nice.
kind of like just enjoy life, celebrate life, right?
No, that was
Everything's too serious.
That was fun, and in fact, I love that clip because it's at the old Riviera pool, the Riviera, which was, shut down in 2015 and later imploded, and no longer there. It's a big parking lot. So this was, you know what? I think this is our last pool party at the old Riviera because that would have been 2014.
Maybe
I-
you look way too happy. Look at that face.
You asked, and
my
I was
God.
like, okay, I'll do it if you need me to. I'll take one for the team and do it. So.
You're such a giver, Jason.
so
You're such a
happy.
giver.
All right.
That's
Jason,
that,
that was really big of you to do that for me.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I'll remember that.
If I get some time,
Are
I'm gonna
we,
make a GIF out of this.
Nice. All right.
That is the
so
last
we-
video. Yes.
That's so
That
we
is
should
awesome.
probably we promised that we would open some questions up to the
We did.
chat. Our
Yes.
viewers have been waiting so patiently, and again, thank you to everybody tuning in. We hope you're enjoying what you're watching. We actually plan to try to do this at least every week throughout this shutdown, maybe longer, where we'll do a billiards tonight, and we'll try to bring on a different guest. And so we're already working on somebody for next Thursday night, so you have to come back and see who we get for that. But in the meantime, we want to let you guys ask some questions of Jeanette. Steve, I don't know if I'm sure somebody already asked some questions, but what do we got for Jeanette? And let's keep them appropriate, people. Let's be kind here.
Okay, yes.
me go
I'm
back
ready for
through.
you. Come on, babies.
Let's give them about 30 seconds to hear that
and I
and then
will, if
respond.
you guys can or will follow me. My Twitter handle is Black Widow. On Facebook, it's Jeanette Lee, the Black Widow.
Yep.
And I hope that I hear from you guys. I read all those things myself, and I actually also plan to do a weekly thing. So
Nice.
I'm going to have to figure out when, but we're going to try to make the most of this time.
Nice. So what do you want to know from the Black Widow, folks? Ask your
away.
questions, the questions you've always wanted answered. Jeanette's usually pretty open with sharing details about pretty much anything. So
Yep.
if you've got questions, if not, we can just wrap it up for tonight.
Let's give them about 30 seconds because of the stream delay, and then and then they got to type it out. So we'll just give them maybe 20, 25 more seconds. We've been on for about a little over an hour, so we got a lot of people stuck with us through the whole thing. We still have about 300 viewers live. Yeah.
I'd be
Awesome.
curious. I'd also be curious who some of our viewers might like to have on the show here in the coming weeks if we can land them on here. So I got to do some arm twisting, but we'll find some other interesting people to get on here each Thursday night for you guys to keep you entertained while there's.
Here we go.
Jeanette, I don't know about you. I'm missing the sports world, but all right, we got a
Here's
question.
the questions. All right. Yep. What is here's a good one from Anita Roberts, and I don't know how Facebook works with last names and maiden names. So if I say your last name wrong, I'm sorry in advance. What is the most satisfying match you've ever won?
Good one.
That's a good one. That is a good one. I mean, they're all satisfying.
Wow.
Winning is great, but what is the one that you're the one you're telling your grandkids about?
That's pretty tough. I've actually thought about that a few times because sorry, are you able to see me?
Yeah. I can
Okay.
see. Yeah.
Definitely when I won the gold medal for at the World Games. It was the first time we got to compete as an Olympic sport in the 2001 World Games. I was just coming off of back surgery. I ended up being Karen Core in the finals, and I beat her 7-2 pretty handily. And it was surprising to me because I was coming off of back surgery.
Sure.
And that year was actually the first time that I worked with Jerry Bryseth and Mark Wilson, and it changed my game in the way that, for me, everything was about playing a lot and knowledge. And what Jerry Bryseth and Mark Wilson brought into my game was the idea of having solid stroke mechanics,
Sure.
swing
Fundamentals.
mechanics, like in golf.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just about what shot to shoot, how to make the ball, how to make the cue ball do this, and learning more. And it's not just about playing and putting more hours than everyone, but really setting yourself up for success with good, alignment, stance, grip,
All
swing,
the good
things
stuff.
like that, which now when I do my clinics, and I'll be doing, if we get out of this pandemic, when we get out of this pandemic, I'm doing my clinics again. I'm going to start them right here in Tampa, and it's going to be a lot of that. Just really understanding how we can set our bodies up to move more consistently, and then really understand the cue ball and things like that. I would say that the gold medal, also, there was a couple of finals where I beat Allison Fisher 7-0. Not sure if there's anyone that has done that once, let alone twice. And I'm only giving her a lot of respect by using that as something to brag about.
That
But
is true.
when you say satisfying, 7-0 on ESPN,
That's
I might
pretty
have
satisfying.
remembered that.
All right.
And then let me see.
Now, hold on before you answer again, because I know with your career you got 800 billion matches that have been excellent and amazing. So
Okay, sorry.
we have lots of questions. I'm going to go to the next one.
Okay.
And because you've had a very illustrious career. The next question, this is from Ina. I hope that I'm pronouncing that correctly. She says, do you know this person?
Is it Ina Wilper?
It is.
Wow.
It is exactly that person.
Yes, I knew her back in the Nevada days when I lived in Carson. I mean, okay.
So I'm good. I pronounced it right.
What's the question, Ina?
The question
yes.
is, what will you work on? What will you work hardest on first to get your game back? You talked about making a comeback. Like, what's the number one thing that you think that is going to have the most impact in your game first?
It's hard to say first because it all works together. For sure, for me especially, but I think with everyone, physical fitness. So I'm particularly weak. A lot of people think skinny means fit, and it doesn't. I'm weak. And so I want to strengthen my legs, my core, be able to stretch, get even things like hammer curls, bicep curls to be able to kind of power through some of those shots. So it would be physical conditioning, and then stroke mechanics and pre-shot routine. I know how to make the ball. What gets us, once you get to a certain level, you know how to make every shot. You just got to get out of your own way and trust yourself to just hit a ball purely. And we're like, and we jump up and we drop our elbow. We do all these things because of the lack of confidence. And that confidence will come from repetition, good stroke mechanics, and pre-shot routine. So my first steps will be, before every workout, stretching and fitness, just slowly getting stronger because I am so weak. And then it's, oh my gosh, my puppy is humping my foot. Okay, sorry. Did I really say that out loud? You didn't hear that, did you?
I was like, the last time we did an interview, your other puppy puked everywhere. So we've got the puppy trifecta, if you will, here.
So next question.
Last time Jeanette's dog literally threw up in the middle of our match.
That is
my sister.
So Russell asks, and this is a one word answer. We're starting to get lots of questions. What's your favorite type of shot? Bank, straight in, backspin, or topspin?
Or winning.
Yeah, whatever shot wins the game or win.
banking the 9-ball straight
There you
back.
go.
No, yeah, I mean, I think just a pure hit. I think about that more than the type of shot. It's, did you give it a pure swing? A confident swing where if your chest is in your throat and you're so nervous and everything's on the line. And I just think to myself, all right, when you put your head when you get back to the hotel tonight and you put your head on that pillow, if I know I went all out, just going for the win, it's like just jumping out of the airplane, which I've done now 4 times. I don't recommend it, but it's this feeling where you just go. I know there's something wrong with me.
You don't recommend it, but you've done it 4 times.
I've never done it, and they were only going to get a discount if I was there, and I wanted them to experience it, so I did it. But
nothing like risking your life for a friend's discount.
Not a great feeling.
All in, right? All in. She's all in.
But my point is,
that's the definition of a true friend there.
Right.
When you feel like your heart is pumping and you've got this opportunity and it's not a great one. They left you a tough shot, tough bank, kick, whatever. And you just think, whether I miss this shot or not, I'm going to be proud of myself because I'm just jumping. I'm just jumping out that play. You know what I mean? I'm just going for it.
Sure.
And then to actually execute a pure confident swing, I don't know that there's a greater high on this planet.
Sure.
For me, and I've experienced a lot, and so it could have been a straight shot. It could have been anything, but it's when your adrenaline is going and your armpits are stinking and your throat feels like so
very
thick
descriptive.
I know, right?
Yeah, I know. Anyway,
you're a storyteller. You're a storyteller. I dig it.
My point is, your throat is so swollen and you're fired up, and yes, you can miss it. Yes, it got let. You can look at the fact that I can't believe they left me this. You missed the shot, leave me. Forget all that. This is your opportunity, and are you going to go like chest and head first, or are you going to and poke and hope? Right. There's a time to poke and hope, and there's a time to just reach that arm out to grab it. And when you do that, but you do it in such a pure, deliberate way.
Sure.
Oh my God, I'm so fired up again. I cannot wait to start playing pool again.
All right.
So,
it's a high, but it is a decision. When you get out and you play, what I love about APA is you could be a horrible player, no offense, but you could be a really low-level player and experience what it means to win a championship.
Sure.
And that's really what it is in every sport, isn't it? I mean, you've got the little leagues in baseball, right? And then you got the AAA or the double or the whatever it is, and then you got the pros. You get to experience that, and I don't think that existed before APA. But in APA for our sport, for pool, which is the most participated sport in the world, more than golf and tennis combined, bet me on it. And I'm telling you,
I don't want to bet you, Jeanette.
You don't want to bet against me. But my point is, you get the opportunity to be there and be competitive. And at every level, you want to be able to say, I'm just going to go for it.
Right.
But, again, you have to make the decision in your mind that this is not a poke and hope. This is a no, all in. I'm going to zero in on my target, and I'm going to trust that target. And then I'm going to trust my body to do everything that I worked on at home. And there's a certain level of discipline and competitiveness and passion and just a little bit of a champion attitude that everyone has. It's just tapping into it. And I really believe that with all my heart. But I think I can tell you that it's not something I don't think it's something you're born with. I spent many a nights at many hotels, sick to my stomach, turning and turning because I choked on a shot.
Sure.
It takes a lot of losses to enjoy the wins that I've won.
Sure.
Nice.
Sure.
We got any?
I don't know why I got into all that.
That's
Next
all right.
question.
That was your one word. That was your one word answer to the shot question. So what's the next question?
So actually, there are a lot of questions, and I know that we're already over budget on time.
Dang it.
So I can
Having
take a
so
few.
much
Do you want me
fun.
to take a few more, Jay, or do you
Yeah,
want me to?
let's take a couple more
Okay.
because we did promise we'd let
We
people
did.
ask some questions. So let's
So
give them
we
what we
did have
promised.
a couple of people ask a similar question. Uh, Before playing a match, kind of like what do you do to warm up, or maybe even also describe your shot routine as well. Just kind of how do you prepare?
That is an awesome question. Okay, so before a match, I eat exactly 3.5 hours before my match because
On the dot.
I don't want to be hungry, but I don't want to be full. I definitely stretch. I warm up on the table. When I warm up on the table, I have three main things that I focus on: the solidity of my stroke mechanics, some nice, somewhat long straight in shots. When you're cutting a ball with the pockets being, two balls wide, you don't know how far you are. But when you're dead straight and you're off, you can really see it.
Sure.
So straight shots to focus on my stroke mechanics, speed, lagging the ball, playing position to cut this rail shot and have the cue ball go 2 rails, 3 rails, 1 rail. So speed control and then English. Several extreme English shots because depending on the humidity, how dirty or gritty the balls are, the more that English is going to grab. So if if everyone that comes to that tournament knows how to make the balls, but I know the speed of the table and I know how much I can turn the ball, how much I can draw a ball better than my opponent, I feel like that gives me
That's
the
your
edge.
edge. Yeah.
The person that can adjust to that equipment quicker. The people that are going to suffer are the people that go home and practice on the same table all year.
Because then they only know how to
And
play on
then
one table.
they never have to make an adjustments. People that play league, especially in a travel division, you're playing on an 8 foot, 7 foot. You're playing with this weight of cue ball, this kind of cue ball, all different kinds of things. You're making those adjustments. And if you want to be a competitor, that's part of it. If you just want to be a
Yeah.
great player, play in your own home room and become the greatest player ever. Absolutely. But if you also want to be a competitor, part of that is adjusting to every equipment because it's not just about how well you play, it's about how well you adjust.
On what you just said there, I'm gonna
That was pretty
segue.
short, right?
No,
Pretty
it was
short
great.
answer.
I'm learning stuff here, man.
I'm
That's
getting
great.
better.
Uh, and this next question I think is probably the $1 million question, especially for our current events. This is a good one. It was asked by Charmaine Lawrence. All the questions are good, but this one's especially good. Uh, so we're all stuck in the house, right? Some of us have access to a pool table, some of us don't. Some of us, we may not even have, a pool cue or whatever the case may be. How do you maintain your skills when you don't necessarily have a pool table? What advice could you give a lot of us that don't have a pool table that want to maybe not get as rusty as maybe some others?
All right, you're absolutely right. That is the
That's the
million
million
dollar
dollar
question.
question.
That's the best question of. That's the question of the day. Charmaine, I'm going to remember that name.
Charmaine
Charmaine,
Lawrence,
Charmaine
skill
Lawrence.
level 3 in APA with the million
That's
dollar question.
awesome. Hit me up on my Facebook page, and we will continue this conversation. I was actually just talking to one of my proteges, my students, Julio, who is quarantined in his home. His parents still work. I would, if he had been fully quarantined, I would still let him come here and practice because even if I can't bend as much with this sinking IV still on my arm, I could still work with him. But one, certainly setting up. I mean, this is for somebody that really, really wants to continue their game. I think just locking in their approach, so setting up with their stance and just keeping that repetitive. There's this, you could kind of have a footprint along your wall. So if you're right handed, it would be your right foot against the wall on the shot line. And then when you bend down, your elbow, your shoulder, your wrist, your foot should all be on that shot line. So to stand up and step back and repetitively lock down your approach and your alignment, I would watch a ton of videos. My favorite thing to do for all of my career were watching AccuStats videos. Now there's so much available on YouTube.
Lots of
I'm not
content.
sure that they have the library that AccuStats has, ACCUSTATS by Pat Fleming. But he used to travel around and record the Reno Open and the US Open. I mean, all of these things are all available. But I know that there's still a lot of matches. So I would watch the matches, and whenever you can get player interviews or player commentary where they're talking about their own match, there were a few people that did some awesome straight pull runs with their own player review. That's where I think you get some good stuff, because otherwise you're just assuming that what they're doing is what they meant to do. But when you can hear them saying, this is what I was watching out for, this is what I wanted to make sure
The
to
thought
do,
process behind it.
I think there's a lot of value behind that. Anything that you can do, and it doesn't have to just be pool. Golf is very similar in the way that, or archery, anything where you're not reacting, right? When you're playing football, basketball, baseball, you just have to have good physical training, but it's not nearly as mentally draining, because there's not time. The ball's coming at you, boom, you got to react. But in pool, there's no reaction.
Sure.
There's only action. You have to create that perfect swing. And your body is trembling and things like that. So I read a book called Golf is Not a Game of Perfect by Dr. Bob Rotella. And it really talked about the pre-shot routine and your attitude going in. And I used to have these index cards of all these positive, I was just saying this to Jean the other night, all these positive affirmations. I mean, what are the things that inspires you individually? And I had it on my bathroom mirror. I had it on my dashboard in my car. I had it by my laptop. I had it by my bedside. I had it on random walls. I had it on my refrigerator. I was completely absorbed. And that's where I want to go back to, because to really be a world champion, that's what it takes. It takes going further than most people will. Every step is an easy step, but it's continuing on, right? Because there's nothing that all these people do that you can't do, but we all give way to life and obstacles and letdowns and things like that, and you just keep going. And for me, it's surrounding myself with positivity, watching videos.
Hey, Jeanette, with that in mind, let me ask you real quick, because last week, I think it was last week, Steve, we shared a video here on our Facebook page that actually showed like some tips you could do from home without a pool table. And one of those was, it was basically a stroke drill that I think they used like maybe a soda bottle, and they were trying to make sure. So like
yeah, so maybe that's my answer.
Yeah, so maybe there are, if you go back on our Facebook page about a week, and it was somebody else's video, we just shared it, but they had a number of good tips you could actually do right there from home. So just if you wanted, in addition to the things that Jeanette talked about, there's some right there that you can try. So
to sum up, education, watch some videos, get in the heads of the players that are playing the table, understand the thought process,
meaning mental game
behind the shots,
diamond systems, knowledge, watching videos.
Right, and then you said work on your stance. Would you recommend them maybe taking photos of themselves?
Mechanics, approach, video record yourself. Absolutely, you could do that.
Maybe have like a significant other or something, take a photo on the cell phone or something. Oh, mirror, that's a good idea. Mm-hmm. And then, cool.
And what you can do if you wanted, I mean, I don't mind it. I can't promise that I see all of them, but if you guys wanted to take a video of yourself or a picture of yourself, your alignment, as long as I can get from your bridge hand all the way to the back corner and your foot, I can tell you what, if you say, hey, how does this look? I can talk you through a lot.
Nice.
There's got to be a way. I'm sure that there's some way to do online coaching where I'm going to figure that out.
There you go. Something to work on during this time.
Because right now through the pandemic, when they say groups of 10 or less, and now it's a groups of 4, I think, because I can still do my clinics. We have a pool table. I can get 4 strangers, but with my autoimmune disease,
Yeah,
it's
I don't know
just,
if I'd
and it's
chance
just
that,
not
girl.
something that you want to recommend or advertise. Hey, let's
Yeah.
gather.
Right.
So, but I think later on, there's got to be a way video wise that I can help someone with me seeing them in their home somehow.
Nice.
Interesting.
So
challenge.
let's see if we can get to one or two more. We'll have to go kind of shorter answers,
Yep.
but let's see if we can
Yes,
get
sir.
to one or
So-
two, and then we'll say goodnight.
I will say
Okay.
this. This is actually probably the last question. The questions have slowed down, and
Cool.
this last question that I'm going to ask is a couple of questions in one. So obviously you've had some medical issues that you've kind of outlined tonight, the back pain, which is a huge deal, and some of the other struggles that you've talked about. We have a few members in our chat that have had not necessarily the same struggles you have, but similar struggles. We had one individual say they had spina bifida. There was another gentleman, or maybe it was a young lady, talk about back pain. So they're asking, generally their question is, how do you get through it, man? Like, it's bad. I mean, you know what it's like to live with pervasive pain day in and day out every day. What can you tell these individuals that struggle with this every day, that where they're pain, they can't get down on a ball? I've done lots of work with you. I know that there are days where you can't get down on the ball and we have to adjust.
Yeah.
So what do you have to say to them? And that'll be our last question.
Yeah, that's a pretty heavy question because as you were saying that, I felt my shoulders just, it's a lot
Sorry.
of weight to carry. No, it's okay. It's just, so I have scoliosis. My spine is shaped like an S. I have ankylosing spondylitis, an autoimmune disease, arthritis. I have fibromyalgia, which is nerve pain, nerve condition. Um, and every morning that I wake up, I'm in pain. And my kids know anywhere I need to go. I'm not great at waking up in the mornings, but I mean, they know the girls Sunday morning, 9 a.m. They come in, they've got a cup of coffee. Mom, take your medicine. It's 9 o'clock. Be back in an hour, and they leave. And they know that I need to wake up. I need to take some medicine. I need to just slowly start to move around in my bed. Like I can't just jump out of bed.
Sure.
I can't. And so I think there are days, I think what it is be willing to, I mean, we're just human after all, right? And I think that sometimes we try to do too much and you need to allow yourself to just rest and breathe. I think the important thing is to not stay there because while some people push themselves too much, other people have kind of given up,
Sure.
become complacent, and just accepted that this is their life. And this doesn't have to be your life. You can make a choice. And you're not going to be able to get up every morning, but the days you can do. And what I mean is, this is something I've said my whole career. You don't have to feel strong to be strong. You have to get out of bed. And sometimes that is a stronger move than anyone else you know. At that moment, when it takes everything you can to just get up and put your pants on, it makes me emotional. Like I've had so many days like that.
Yeah. It's
and
a real
I just
win when that happens.
Yeah, but the thing is, what's my, people are like, oh my God, Jeanette, you're so inspiring. You do so. How do you? But for me, what's the other option?
Sure.
And the other option of just staying in bed and keeping your robe on and not even trying to bother to wash your face and that quality of life. If you have anyone you love and anyone that loves you, one, you're not alone, but two, you have a choice to either be pitied or to inspire. I want to inspire. And what I've learned is I don't have to be singing from the rooftops and have great, I don't have to run a marathon with AS to inspire, just getting up and washing my dishes sometimes. Yeah. And it's really, I think that it's important because a lot of times what we go through, it feels very alone. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And there's a lot of pride in us. I mean, for me, I'm not looking for your pity. You know what I mean? And you don't understand anyway. That's kind of my natural thing to think. And I think a lot of people, they don't want to be pitied. They're not looking for a handout. And for sure, you've got those haters that are like, oh man, the black widow, she's just making excuses because she missed that 9 ball. No, if I missed the 9 ball, I missed it. I'm not trying to make excuses. But for me, connecting with my family and my friends, it gives me a lot of strength. And what I've learned is everyone can feel pain and everyone can feel alone. And everyone has moments where they're not sure what tomorrow brings. And so get up and do what you can. And if you need to take a break, take a break, but don't give up on yourself. I think that that's the worst thing, because you're not just giving up on you. There's a whole network of people whose lives that you have touched, will touch, are touching, and every decision you make is part of something much bigger than what you can imagine. And I don't know, just the worst thing you could do is just don't give up on yourself. Just get out of bed.
I think I don't think there's a better way for us to wrap up tonight's broadcast than that message, folks. So hopefully that's touching some of you folks out there. Yeah, stay tough, people. We know it's not easy, but we're in this thing together, and we're going to be together on a pool table again eventually. We're just not sure how long, but we know we are a day closer than we were yesterday, and that's what's important. So keep your heads high.
Connect. Yeah, use this time to connect with each other. I think really. Take advantage, because we're all, in the house, but I mean, your family, your friends, but your teammates, there's
Tuesday with teammates. Tell them, Jeanette.
Oh, I love it. Yes, that's right. It's a great idea. Tuesday with teammates. So you guys maybe we'll bring that back.
Maybe we'll bring you on. Maybe we'll bring you on. Maybe we'll bring you into the Tuesday with teammates.
That would be pretty awesome. I'm in.
Nice.
I'm in.
All right, guys.
They used to do a thing on Tuesdays where we would bring the whole team in where they could just kind of hang out and vibe, right?
Yeah.
You guys could, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's neat.
So, Jeanette, I just I want to thank you for coming on tonight. We're trying this new thing with this show, and of course, if you're going to have a first guest, there's no bigger A-lister in pool than the Black Widow. So we appreciate you, and I think on behalf of the pool world, I can say that it's good to see your face, hear your voice, and see your smile, because we just weren't sure what was going on there for a while, and we're glad you're on the road to recovery.
Yeah, we're rooting for you.
We wish you and the kids and Jean all the best during the quarantine. Hopefully we can get back together. Maybe next week we'll talk to Jean about maybe playing a match with Cody, or we'll do something again here in the days ahead. But again, thanks for
we have time.
Joining us tonight. We definitely appreciate it. For the rest of you folks, we appreciate you guys tuning in. We hope you enjoyed our first segment of Billiards tonight. We'll be back next Thursday. We're not sure yet who our guest will be, but we promise it'll be a good one. So make sure you check back in with us. So on behalf of Jeanette, Steve, and everybody at the APA, we'll say goodnight, and thanks for tuning in.